Hello students, in my previous video I have discussed the first law of Faraday's first law of electrolysis. Now in this video I am going to talk about Faraday's second law of electrolysis. What does Faraday's second law states? That when same amount of electricity is passed through different electrolytes, the amount of different substances deposited at the electrodes is directly proportional to their equivalent masses. First of all, before understanding this statement, you should understand what is equivalent mass. What is equivalent mass? Equivalent mass is the mass of an element deposited by passing 96500 coulomb of charge. It means when 1 Faraday charge is passed, that time whatever amount of substance is deposited, it's called equivalent mass. So equivalent mass is related with the 1 Faraday. 1 Faraday will produce whatever amount of element, that is called your equivalent mass. So now understand this statement, that when same amount of electricity is passed through different electrolytes, the amount of different substances deposited at the electrode is directly proportional to their equivalent masses. It means W1, if your first element, the amount deposited is W1. The second substance, the amount deposited is W2. Then this W1 is related with the equivalent mass. If the equivalent mass for this substance is more, the amount of substance deposited will also be more. And the equivalent mass of the substance is less, then amount of substance deposited will be less. So the amount of substances deposited, they depend on their equivalent masses. For example, if n mole of electrons are involved in any electrode reaction, n moles of electron are involved in any electrode reaction. For example, if I take copper to get deposited 1 mole. To get deposited 1 mole of copper, we need 2 moles of electrons. So there the value of n will be 2. But in case of silver, if we have to deposit silver, we don't need 2 electrons, we need only 1 electron. So 1 mole of silver ion will get deposited when we take 1 mole of electrons. But if we are passing 2 moles of electrons, so obviously the amount of silver deposited will be double moles. 2 moles of silver will be deposited. Am I right? If we pass 2 moles of electrons. But the same 2 moles of electrons, in case of copper, they will deposit only 1 mole of copper. But in case of silver, they will deposit double mole. Why? Because to deposit 1 mole, we need only 1 mole of electron. But if we will pass 2 moles of electrons, if we will pass that much current, that it will produce 2 moles of electrons. 2 Faradays if we pass, then it will produce double amount. This is what Faraday's second law states. That amount of substances deposited will depend upon the equivalent masses. And equivalent mass, they depend on the number of moles of electrons which we are passing. Right? So if n is the number of moles of electrons which are involved in an electrode reaction, then n into 96500 coulomb of charge will deposit 1 mole. This capital M represents the molar mass of a substance. So 1 mole of a substance will be deposited. And if we pass only 1 coulomb, then it will be M molar mass. N is the number of moles into 96500 coulomb. Now what is Z? The molar mass divided by N. N we can represent here as valency, because N is what? Number of moles of electrons required. So it's your valency for copper 2, valency for silver 1. So in case of copper, what is this molar mass of copper? 63.5. And what will be the number of moles for copper? Valency, it will be 2. But in case of silver, the number of N will be 1. So whatever this part, M divided by N, molar mass divided by valency, that is called your equivalent mass. For any substance, if you have to calculate equivalent mass, how we can calculate? We can calculate, for example, in case of copper, if I have to say what is equivalent mass, so that will be molar mass, that is 63.5 divided by N. N is your 2. So accordingly, we can calculate equivalent mass for all the metals. So this is how your number of moles of electrons, they are related with your equivalent mass, and this is how your weight of substance deposited is related with your equivalent mass of the substances. This is all about second law of electrolysis, and quickly I am going to send the next video where we will be solving the numerical using these Faraday's laws. So the practically when you will solve the numerical, you will understand it better. So wait for my next video. I'm just sending it, which is based on a numerical. Thank you and enjoy studying.